I'm going to take you on a tour of the world famous Blackpool Illuminations, which has now become a seasonal event which started, if I'm not mistaken, about 140 years ago. So way back in the year of 1879, the town and cities had been using gas lamps, and up until this particular year, on the 19th of September, the town installed 8 powerful arc lamps, which were powered by an early generator, and some say these could have been the first ever street lighting used in the world. The coaster here is the big one. It's about 250 feet high, give or take, and it belongs to the Pleasure Beach. Now here we also see one of the vintage trams which also started running on early electricity. Here's a view of the casino building belonging to the Pleasure Beach, which also houses the Horseshoe Bar for the nighttime cabaret and many other things as well. The Pleasure Beach itself is probably one of the most largest amusement parks in the whole of Europe. In 1912 they decorated just a section of the seafront with something like about 10,000 bulbs that were painted. As you can well imagine, nobody had ever experienced anything like this before. It also attracted extreme amounts of people to the place. Now during the wartime, obviously they couldn't have the lights working, and they stayed that way right up until 1949, and even then they had to get permission from the government to be able to burn this much electricity. The first official switch on was by an actress then known as Anna Neagle, and many celebrities since have taken the honour. Here's one of the many giant tableaus. This one's a water feature, and this one's on the south side. They're more on the north side, which we will eventually see as we go through. There you can see a glimpse of the tower in the background, and at one time it used to have what appeared to be moving white lights or gold lights moving up and down. Recently they've installed ultra bright LED lighting which can produce different colours and patterns. Now the Illuminations are also known as the greatest free show on earth. However, if you wish to make a donation, then you can drop whatever money or change into one of the deposit boxes at designated areas. They're either north or south, depending which area you come in or you leave from. This has become the most popular of the illuminated trams, and has been for many years. These particular types only come out at night and all add to the atmosphere of the whole place. There's roughly about 7 miles of lighting from Squires Gate right up to the edge of Bispam, where they have the giant tableau section. If you don't want to hire a taxi, then how about doing it in style with one of these? Each section along the way has some sort of theming, and for anybody who visits for the first time, it's all rather breathtaking to see how much work and effort goes into it all. the Lucky Star Casino. A little bit of Vegas. It's no longer here now, but was always very eye-catching, especially after the sun went down. And here's another look down the side of the Pleasure Beach. Anyone who's seen a mirror ball won't have seen one quite as big as this. Not unless, of course, you've visited here before. These used to be known as light tunnels, and there were many over the years. Notice also in the centre here they have small little sized mirror balls, or actually probably more likely normal sized mirror balls. This is one of the most up-to-date modern trams that have been added recently. And this is another of the illuminated trams. Illumination season usually runs from the 1st of September right through to the beginning of November, and it is quite spectacular. See that double-decker tram? That's known as a balloon, or a balloon tram, and was originally put onto the tracks way back in 1934, and it holds a capacity of about 90 passengers. Is part of the area known as the Golden Mile, from Central to North Pier, with a lot of attractions in between. They're very close to each other as well. And another specially built nighttime illuminated tram. The Blackpool Tower is more than just an observation tower. There's a whole big building at its base which houses 5 floors of entertainment. It includes a circus, the Tower Ballroom, a live actor horror chamber event and a 3D cinema experience, as well as loads and loads of other attractions all within this building. There's also a Sea Life Centre here, as well as Madame Two Swords and countless other attractions, shows, theatres. We have 3 piers here. There really is so much going on, especially at the weekends, and the most popular time of the Illumination period is during the half-term holidays in October. Notice the extremely wide pedestrian walkways. This is reasonably consistent all along the stretch. Now this is a really popular area, which is where they display all the individual themed giant tableau scenes. Today they use computer technology to control the lights here, but at one time it was all done by using mechanics, a cylinder that rotated, making connections at the right point. As you start to head more north, the tram tracks that are initially embedded in the road, and sometimes even shared with motor vehicles, eventually start to resemble train tracks, all complete with sleepers as well. And the tracks start at Squires Gate and go all the way into Fleetwood. And if you look carefully, you can actually see the driver sat right at the front through the round tinted screen. Oh, here's one of the trams that hasn't been running for several years, but it's still on display all the same. Just passing in front of you is one of the dual carriage trams, and now you can compare it to one of the more modern trams that have been added just recently. Coral Island. Now that's a huge indoor leisure arcade with slot machines, bingo, simulators, ghost train, restaurant, cafe. Yeah, it's quite a good place to go on a rainy day. Illuminations traffic. Now that's something that happens at the weekend. It used to be one way only from the south, so they used up both sides of the road from the south side, and then you join this slow moving queue that will eventually come all the way from the south, from Squires Gate all the way, or Stargate or whatever, and would gradually move all the way through. It would take about 90 minutes to see the whole thing. Back to the giant sets at the north end. This is similar to the old rejuvenation machine, which used to have old people being pushed into one end and then turning back into the children at the other side. They push them out and they come out the other side. So it's very similar to that. Background, you can see some of the larger hotels. Well, there's so much more in the way of illuminations than you've seen, and there's a great deal more to Blackpool itself as well. Thanks very much for watching. and please subscribe and hit the like button, and I'll see you all on YouTube.